Let's talk deodorant. I am Jessie. Welcome back to We Seek Summits, where we're seeking summits in every aspect of our life, health, love of God, walk with friends, relationships, all that. So allow me to just let you into some of my life. And I had to acknowledge that I've gone fairly crunchy when I was talking to my sister, and I casually dropped into a sentence, "Since we've started making our own deodorant." And she goes, "What?" Yeah, so that's happened. So I was making my own deodorant for a very long time before doTERRA introduced their new one. I'll tell you about that. But basically, who here has heard about all the very terrible things in the normal deodorant that you would grab off the shelf, in particular the metals? Yes, it's legit. We don't want to use those anymore. Also, a lot of those are antiperspirant, and we need to perspire. Our bodies were created to sweat. Sweat is how our bodies get rid of a lot of toxins, and sweat is how our bodies cool themselves down. It's a very important function, so we don't want to add an antiperspirant. That's just going to cake up our pores and make it stinkier. And also, yeah, sometimes we're just going to sweat and we're just going to stink a little bit. But the entire thing that I was saying to my sister is, since I've started making my own deodorant, I sweat a heck of a lot less, and it is not nearly as stinky. And I am not exaggerating when I tell you I had really, really bad body odor. Dad, I'm sorry if you're watching this, but I would blame my dad. I'd be like, hey, of all the genetic things I got from my dad, I didn't get his beautiful dark skin. I got his hair, his body hair, and his body odor. So I'm like, so that would be my joke. But the truth is that that's probably not necessarily true, because I don't stink as much. And yes, I went and worked out today, so I smell a little bit maybe. But, so let's get back to this. Okay, here's the whole point, is we need to find better deodorant alternatives. And if you're in one of those cooler states and you can go no deo, that's awesome. But we live in Houston and that's not a great option. So I was making mine for a while, and I'm going to give you this recipe. I'm also going to show you some other options. So Dominic uses something called a salt crystal, and we had one that would sit in a little tray and he would spray water and use it. But then we found they had this little, come on now, oh, twist. This little stick one, and all it is just salt, because we know that salt is highly cleansing, highly purifying. Bacteria doesn't live in the presence of the salt. It does take a little bit of water, so opportunity for oils. So we have created Dominic his little pit juice blend. This is just water, and then Dominic adds in a very masculine blend of oils, and he can tag the oils here in this when he edits the video, but I'm pretty sure it's rosemary, cypress, spikenard, juniper, and wild orange. And so it smells very, very manly, very musky, woodsy. So this is what he does. He sprays this on and then takes the salt crystal and just rubs it on, and he's good to go. And I'll have him add a little note if he needs to add more descriptions about that. But this is a great option. So there's one, and a great way to get your essential oils in. You can pick oils that are highly cleansing. You can pick ones that smell good. If you need some mood boosting ones, you can pick ones for that. The doTERRA deodorant, they've come out with the balanced deodorant. It is amazing. Their first attempt was a no-go, and in fact so much so that they did this great video with everybody doing pit checks. I am now using this, and I love it. Like, let me just tell you, I love it. And we're all walking around like everybody's doing pit checks all day, smelling the balance. Also, because it's got balance blend, it's really grounding, focusing, good for mood, good for brain, so why not? So I'm liking that one. Oops, sorry, let me turn my phone off. Here we go. This is live, y'all. Like, this is just me in my kitchen hanging out, so I'm gonna turn my phone off. doTERRA has also come out with a new one. It was just released at the making of this video, and it is made without baking soda. So if you have a little bit more sensitive pits and you don't want the baking soda, this is a great alternative, and it's Douglas fir and Greek orange, so oof, amazing. Try that. However, you can also make your own. So here, I'm going to give you the recipe for this. So I've got my recipe book here, and this is, I found it on the doTERRA website on the blog, but then I made my own adjustments. So for one batch, I'm going to take 6 tablespoons of coconut oil, 6 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of arrowroot, and then I also add in a little bit of bentonite clay. So I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of that, and then pick your oils. So I'm going to assemble that. You could totally make a larger batch of this and keep it in the fridge, and it will stay in the fridge for a while. You can just make one batch. Like, I'm just gonna make a small batch now because, like I said, I'm using the doTERRA one and loving it. So I'm actually just gonna do a half batch. And this, honestly, I know that that was the joke with my sister, is that I'd gone natural, but deodorant's a fairly easy one to either make your own or just buy this one. So that's one real quick, easy way to get toxins out. And also, again, because of the sensitive skin right here, that's all those toxins are going right in there, all the metals and stuff going right in through your pits. So bad idea. So this is an easy one. Okay, 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. I'm gonna measure out my arrowroot. I've got my coconut oil, arrowroot, and baking soda in here, and I added the arrowroot in addition to the doTERRA recipe. One other thing that a friend suggested that I do is also add in a little bit of bentonite clay. So I'm going to do the same amount of that as the arrowroot. Bentonite clay pulls toxins out of your body. It's a very basic explanation for it. You can go look it up. It does a lot of great things. If you are making the transition away from the regular store-bought deodorant and you're going to go more natural, there is a high chance that you're going to need to detox your pits. Again, we've had years of like layering this stuff on, our pores are all clogged, our bodies are junky, so we're going to need to do detox stuff. So detox baths with baking soda, cider vinegar, bentonite clay. You can even put the Zendocrine detox oil, put a couple drops in your bath, and that'll help just generally. Or you can take the bentonite clay, mix equal parts bentonite clay and apple cider vinegar, and I just got this at Whole Foods, Amazon, I don't know, Sprouts might have it, but this is fairly common to find. Take equal parts of that, and if you're just doing your pits, you can do a small amount. If you're going to do your whole face and décolletage, that's what it's called, obviously do a little bit more, but you don't need much. So take a little bit and smear it on your pits and then let it sit about 10 minutes. I would suggest trying to do it before you get in the shower, or if you're sitting in the bath, go ahead and like spread it on your pits and then kind of sit up high and then rinse it off. But you're gonna wanna give yourself at least a 2 to 3 week period of detoxing. So prepare to stink for a little bit during that time. Again, we're going through the detox, but just stick with it. Plan a time when you're like away from people you know, or maybe you're going to be home most of the time during the day, whatever, and just kind of plan about it. But know that if you're going to make the switch, it's likely that you're going to stink for a while. First, stick with it. Okay, so when I mix all this up, the bentonite clay is going to make it, and this doesn't have to be perfect, it's going to make it kind of this gray cream. It doesn't matter that much, you don't notice it. Now is the chance for my essential oils. So pick the ones you want. So you can grab your Essential Life book, and in the back, I mentioned this in the Linen Refresh spray video, it has an awesome chart of all the properties of the oils. It's this whole huge graphic. And so if you want to look up oils that are high in cleansing properties, high in antifungal properties, you can do that and then assemble them together. And then what I do is I kind of pick all the oils and I'll open them up here, smell them all together, and make sure I like it. Okay, so I usually do lemon and helichrysum and rosemary. So I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try juniper berry like Dominic's, and I'm gonna see spikenard. That's one of the oils I don't use very often. So I'm gonna try that just to get the benefits and see if I like it. So I've got all my oils here. No spikenard. I think I'm gonna leave that one with Dominic and I'll find another way to use it. But, okay, so rosemary, lemon, helichrysum, and juniper berry. I like that one. You could also use purified oil, or there is an issue. People talk about the citrus oils being photosensitive. Now, I'm pretty fair, so I kind of wear sleeves and stuff a lot, and I'm not hanging my pits out in the sun very often. If you are sunbathing and hanging your pits out in the sun, you might want to avoid lemon. You could totally go for green mandarin. It is not photosensitive. Go watch our video on the green mandarin. We'll talk all about those properties. But like I said, up to you. So I'm gonna do, how many? I did, let's see, in this recipe, the one that I gave you, the 6 tablespoons coconut, 6 teaspoons baking soda, 2 teaspoons arrowroot, and a teaspoon of bentonite clay. I'm gonna do probably about like 12 drops total. One drop of the helichrysum though, that's precious stuff. And here we are. Y'all have made your own amazing pit paste. It smells awesome. If you want to bump up the oils a little bit, like customize it. This is your thing. You will notice it's very runny. So what I do is, this is an excellent opportunity to reuse. I have these amazing pots from Lush, which work perfectly. I also like them because they're naturally dark. You could just use a mason jar, because I mean, I don't keep my deodorant in the sun. So, you know, we talk about keeping essential oils away from direct heat and light. I keep mine in my cabinet, so it's totally fine to use a mason jar or another little pot that you have, and make sure that it is essential oil safe. So the number 1 and 2, I did try for a while. I'm experimenting, and I did try for a while getting my own deodorant roll-up stick and trying to fill it, and I would put it in the freezer really quickly, and so it would roll on, and it just was a big mess and a pain, because I thought, I'm like, I don't want to swipe my fingers and rub it on. I'm going to get it all over. It's really not that big a deal. And honestly, what I do is I take this, get all the good goobers, and I put it in the fridge, and it's going to solidify just a little bit. And then normally at room temperature is fine. If you happen to have a particularly warm bathroom, or if you travel with this, you might find that it kind of separates a little bit. The oil might separate out, or it might kind of gloop again. Give it another stir, stick it back in the fridge, and it'll firm up. Okay, I totally forgot. Melaleuca is a great cleansing oil, as we know, so you could also just use the Melaleuca Touch. It's the pre-diluted Melaleuca roller bottle ready to go, and if you're like, I don't want to mess with all this, you could get the doTERRA deodorant or use the Melaleuca Touch that you might have. Have I said all the things I need to say about deodorant? I hope so. So try this, and y'all, I went to the gym this morning. I'm like, not that stinky. What I did was I took my spray bottle of lemon and Melaleuca with me. It's just like all water and lemon. Give it a good shake. Sprayed my shirt, because honestly, my shirts tend to hold more stink than my pits do. Sprayed my shirt really quickly. Went to my doctor's appointment. I'm about to run errands more this afternoon. I'm not gonna have time to shower, but the truth is, I don't really smell. I mean, I keep checking occasionally, but yeah, I don't smell that much, so I feel totally comfortable going and running errands without having showered. And obviously we've got the frizzy hair going as usual. Okay, any questions? I hope I covered everything. Please leave them in the comments. Please contribute with your own ideas. You know, I'm always looking for great blend combinations, so if you've got a particular oil that you love in your deodorant, yeah, thank you so much.